Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This is my top 10 stocks as we head into Friday, July 19th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. And also, if you trade Bitcoin, I will do a bonus analysis at the end. First off, a couple clarifications. Number one, if you are unfamiliar with how charting works, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame. And what that means is that each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. And also on that note, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting price movement. And then finally, if you would like for me to do an analysis on one of your positions, then comment down below and I will do my best to get to that in a future video. So stock number one here that we'll take a look at, ticker symbol SILO. Very, very nice mover today. Good solid pattern. So let's get this mapped out here. So first part of the pattern was what I would consider the breakout point, and that sits right up here at the $4 mark. Now I do realize the price, went up above $4 on a couple of different occasions, as you can see, both there and there. But then when it fell back below, got rejected at that point. Tried again late afternoon, got rejected. So in my mind, that's why I'm going to go ahead and call $4 the key area of resistance. So keep an eye on that level. And the good news is the price is well within striking distance. So sure, that doesn't guarantee anything, but it does make it more than within the realm of reason that the price could get up to that level and push up through it. And then as far as the areas of support are concerned, key level to watch will be that trend line right there that has been put into place. And then just from an overall pattern standpoint, let me keep it the same color, make it easier to see. We have our resistance, we have our support, we have the explosive move right there. If you golfers, make it a little bit more visual, put the golf hole down here. This would be known as a bull pennant pattern. So if you like stocks down below $10, you like bull pennants, certainly keep an eye on it. Next one, ONCO, and good solid mover today. Now, I suppose there is a little bit of perspective that goes into this. If you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, whatever you want to call yourself, and you're buying up around there, and you wanted to buy and sell within 7 minutes, well then yeah, from that angle, the chart looks pretty rough. But from the bigger picture point of view, even with the pullback here, the price still has plenty of opportunity to build a higher base and then ultimately, continue on with the uptrend. So first key level of support, let me change that to green for support, is going to be the bottom part of this movement right there at, we'll call the 22-cent mark. So keep an eye on that. And nothing fancy in terms of logic. That's just simply where the price stopped going down during that opening 30 minutes. And then on the flip side of things, in terms of areas of resistance, we have a well-defined area of resistance right there. So let me change that to red for resistance. And we have, again, another bull pennant pattern. So just because I can't help myself, let me draw it in. Keep it the same color. So we have our resistance. We have our support. We have the big move right there. Golf hole down here. So another bull pennant. I would say the biggest difference here is that just happens to be a penny stock. So if you prefer penny stocks, but you also like bull pennant patterns, then ONCO definitely should be on your watch list for Friday. Next one, ticker symbol PLTR. And overall, this thing had a very, very good start to the day. I mean, absolutely beast moded up. Unfortunately, could not maintain the gains and essentially went right back to where it started. So yes, intraday today, not a very good day at all. Big picture-wise, everything is still perfectly fine. So let me zoom out and you can just see the overall picture of things. So just even looking at the lows, there's a low there, then a low here, a low here, a low there, and even if that low holds, and then if you envision each one of those as stair steps, each of these stair steps you can see is still progressing in the upwards direction. Now, I realize that if you're some sort of day trader and you bought up there and your plan was to buy and sell within, the 7 minutes, then yeah, you don't really care about these stair steps. But from big picture, yes, today was terrible, but think about that word, today, as in one day. Looking at multiple days, which is what we're doing here, you can see the overall trend is still plenty in the upwards direction. If the price does try to work its way back upwards, first key level of resistance that really stands out to me as a potential problem point, going to be right here at that level, which sits right around $29.30. And then in terms of what I would certainly consider a must-hold area of support, not from the do-or-die standpoint, and if the price falls below here, that means the entire chart's destroyed. But any sort of breaks down below the 27.50 mark, I would certainly classify that as a situation where the bears have shown back up in a pretty big way, but I wouldn't also panic because not that far away you do have the pink line right there, the 200 period moving average. Now if the price were to drop below that level, then at that point that would be a pretty big symbol of the bears taking over. But you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself. So we'll first see if potentially on Friday the price can curl back upwards to that 29.30 mark. Next one, SQQQ. Good solid day here as the price broke through both of these areas of resistance that I talked about previously. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that level. And the first update that goes into play is just based on a foundational rule in charting, which states when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. So moving forward now, $8.11 would be what I would call the ideal level of support. When you say, hey, Clay, what would make this chart look the absolute strongest going forward? And that would be if the price can stay above $8.10, 11 cents, right around there. Now, don't get me wrong, if the price falls below there, does not mean the entire chart's epically destroyed or ruined or anything like that. But that is where the 50-period simple moving average comes into play, the purple line there. Keyword definitely being moving, because I get it. Right now, the price is way up there. This line's way down there. But as time goes by, that line's going to move itself higher and higher and get more and more relevant. But point being is, from the overarching standpoint, as long as the price is above that purple line, the bulls 100% own the chart. In terms of areas of resistance, very straightforward here. Just a question of where did the party stop today? And it actually stopped twice right up there at $8.40. So you can see a couple different situations, both there and there. Price got rejected. So it doesn't mean that 840 can't be broken, but it is symbolizing right now that there are some sellers up around that area. So that'll be the key battleground moving forward. Next one, AMD, and this one is getting beat down quite a bit, but it is AMD, very, very popular stock, and I say all that because when popular stocks get beat down in a hurry like this one has, there can be some very, very solid bounces, and it's just a question of, is there any sort of leading indicator that maybe a bottom is in, and we have that here just simply based on the sideways movement. Now, let me be very clear, and I wish I could say trading was this easy. Just because the price has gone sideways after getting beat down does not mean, oh, for sure this is the bottom and for sure this thing's getting ready to go back up. If only it were that easy. My point here is it becomes a very plausible thought, and it's more than rational to just throw out the consideration that, hey, you know what? Maybe, just maybe, with the sideways movement, the bottom is in, and maybe, just maybe, this thing is getting ready to bounce back up. So in terms of key levels of support, nothing fancy here. Just by definition, if this is some sort of bottom, well, then you want to see the current bottom continue to hold, which is right there at about 153.10. So that'll be the main level for that. And as long as the price stays above there, then the rationale holds, because that would imply the price is going sideways, and that's what it's all about. So yes, popular stock, absolutely beat down, now going sideways here a little bit. So is this some sort of bottom where there's going to be a bounce on Friday? We'll see what happens. Real quick, I want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online class that I'm offering next week. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool and how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box, or if you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage that you can use to get signed up. Like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. Next one, TSLA Tesla. And this will mean a little bit more to those of you that have watched the past videos, but if you have, you know that I've been talking about that resistance line right here in terms of being, that was weird. There we go. But that line right there in terms of being a key area of resistance, and you can see that once again today, that level was very cruel because it actually allowed the price to get up above it. So a fake breakout and then a nasty move right back below it. In fact, I guess now that I look at here, there's a little miniature fake breakout. So point here being that this red line here has been very cruel, and that moving forward, even if the price gets above it, I would personally be skeptical, because history is telling us you better be skeptical, because again, a couple of fake breaks there and then a bigger fake break at that point. And in both those situations, it's not like it was a fake break then kind of went sideways. No, it was a fake break, straight down, fake break, straight down. So yeah, Tesla's been very, very cruel to those breakout players. With all that being said, nothing has really changed in terms of technical levels. Key level from a support standpoint that you're going to want to continue to watch moving forward is that green line down there at 245.75. And then, as already discussed, key breakout area, key resistance is right there, the red line. But yeah, for you breakout players, all I would say is definitely be careful on this one. Next one, ticker symbol NAAS, and very, very impressive movement, not only today, but really the past few days. And honestly, I don't know why I'm just now seeing this one. I suppose embarrassing on my part, I guess maybe at the volume, but I don't know. But today, volume did pick it up a whole nother level. But regardless, yeah, very impressive movement. So let's get some levels mapped out. First area from a support standpoint would be the ideal level, as I already talked about. Hey, Clay, what would be that level that makes a chart look the strongest? And that would certainly be if $7 can hold. But as already discussed, from an overarching standpoint, the level that's going to matter most is that purple line there, 50-period moving average. So as that line moves higher and higher, as long as the price stays above there, then from an overarching standpoint, the bulls are still in full health. And then resistance-wise, very straightforward on this one in terms of just where did the party finally stop today. and you can see it stopped twice this afternoon right up there at $8, and we'll just call it 90 cents. So that'll be the key battleground there. But just to offer up more context, very, very strong move. And I think that not that long ago, this thing was down here below $2. Crazy movement, and today very strong. So yeah, we'll see if this uptrend can continue to build upon itself. And step one in that is going to be breaking up through that level and then working on building those higher lows. Next one, NKGN, and very, very interesting dynamic here occurring. So let me just set up the context a little bit here, but big gap up and then a nasty move all the way to the downside. When that happens, it's always valid to throw out the question, is this some sort of pump and dump? Is this some sort of gap and trap? But we got our answer, and no, it wasn't, because the price started to go sideways. And as I talked about earlier on a previous one, when things go sideways, doesn't mean that it's the bottom, but it at least becomes more valid, and there's a little bit rationale that goes behind it. Now, what's going on here is a little different because this thing has already actually made the move. It's actually, as I speak right now, has already broken up through the top part of the channel, which still presents an interesting situation. So for those people that like to actually play the breakout, yeah, that opportunity has passed. But another question could be asked now, is this the start of something bigger? Think about that question. It makes no sense to ask it if nothing worthwhile is happening. But something worthwhile here is happening. It's starting to break back up to the upside. So yeah, is this the start of something bigger? A valid question and something that's going on right now. So if you like these scenarios, you like stocks down below $10, certainly keep an eye on it. Next one here, SLRX, and somewhat of the same idea, although not quite, because it's not like this thing gave up a whole bunch of gains. This would be more of one of those bull pennant patterns. So I don't want to spend a lot of time on it because you've already heard me talk about the bull pennant pattern. The one little difference here is instead of drawing a trend line, I would just use that pink line there, the 200 period moving average, as the trend line and part of the resistance, because you can see here several false breakouts. So like Tesla, history is telling us that even if the price breaks through that pink line, don't get overly excited because there's been a lot of fake breakouts that come with it. And then in terms of areas of support, main level to watch if there is any sort of pullback will be down here right around the $2 mark. And just, again, I just can't help myself. Let me draw in the pattern just so we can make sure everybody sees it. So again, we're using that pink line as the upper resistance. We have this green line here as support. We have the upward surge right here, a golf hole down here. So again, another bull pennant pattern. Next one, TQQQ, and the bleeding continues on this one, although got to give credit where credit's due. We'll see if it leads to anything. But final 30 minutes here, good solid green candle. Is this the start of a bigger bounce? We'll have to see what happens. But as of now, we got to take things at face value. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that level. And then first update is just based on that rule. When levels of support are broken and closable, they tend to act as resistance. So in my mind, 74.20 going to be very, very interesting level because it's going to help us gauge, okay, yeah, fair enough, last 30 minutes, good solid green candle. But is there any sort of genuine strength? Is there any sort of true power? Well, the first insight into answering that question is how does it behave when it gets to that level right there? Is it just going to get rejected? Does it blast up through it? So that'll be very revealing in terms of the strength or lack thereof of the current green candle right now. In terms of areas of support, now that we have more data, I'm going to go ahead and adjust this area down because it seems to be that the buyers are more so hanging down around that 71.70 mark, so keep an eye on that. And I should also note that whenever levels of support need to be adjusted in the downwards direction, not necessarily a good thing at all from the big picture point of view. But yes, and that's why I like to do these when the markets are open, because even as I've continued to speak, you can see this candle has gotten bigger and bigger. So yeah, is this the start of something bigger? Is there more momentum to come on Friday? Grab your popcorn and let's see what happens. Now, I will get to Bitcoin here in just a second, but for you stock traders, again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about the tool and how it can and should be used to build consistency, manage risk, then definitely go get signed up for that free class. It'll be next week, Thursday, July 28th. So again, next week, Thursday, July 25th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So go get signed up. And it is a genuine live event. So there's a Q&A session. So bring your questions and I'd be happy to answer them live and whatever else you want to discuss. One quick clarification here. We are no longer looking at the 30-minute time frame. We're actually looking at and I did not mean to cross that out like that. We're looking at the 4-hour time frame, just meaning that each one of these now represents 4 hours instead of 30 minutes. And I like to do that just because Bitcoin is open 24/7. So to keep this video relevant for as long as possible, using the 4-hour time frame makes life easier in that regard. And I'm just going to assume that you're watching this video 15-20 hours after I upload it. So really the question comes down to what's the current status of the pattern that I'm about to draw. So the top part of the pattern you can see is right there. And then on the flip side of things, we also have the bottom part of the pattern right there. Let me change that to green. And we have, now maybe there might be a fist fight that breaks out, but is this a bull pennant? Is it a bull flag? To me, no need to break out into a fist fight over, what you want to call the pattern. The point here is the psychology of it. And the psychology of it is big surge up, now it's pulling back. Keyword being pullback. None of this leads me to say that it's a reversal, and there's a big difference between a pullback and a reversal. But nonetheless, big surge up, pullback. So the question you need to ask yourself is, where is the price currently at? So when you're watching this video, and I'll just say 20 hours from now, you're watching this 20 hours from now, you're going to be in a much better spot because you'll have several more candles that form, and you're going to have an idea of what actually transpires in regards to this current, I'm going to just call it a bull pennant pattern. So that's really, Bitcoin is as simple as that right now. Where's the price at relative to the bull pennant pattern? And then, just kind of going from there. And as I invited the stock traders, I'm inviting you as a Bitcoin and crypto trader to get signed up for this free class, because what you're learning about can and definitely should be used within the world of crypto and Bitcoin. So again, it'll be next week, Thursday, July 25th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So go get signed up and bring your questions. Like I said, it's a genuine live event, and I'll have a live Q&A, so I'd be happy to answer any questions that you do have. As far as the top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, hit that like button, leave a comment below. Again, if you have a request, please leave that in the comment section, and I'll do my best to get to it. So thank you for watching, and go get signed up for the free class.